Welcome to another edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. And folks, we got a treat. No more just the northern touch going on up here. He's back. The man, the myth, the drawl. He's recovered from Kentucky's first loss of the season. He's back on the podcast.
Two back to back.
Yeah, I know, but it was the first one that really
the first one.
back.
Yeah.
You know, It's always that first one of the year. It always just gets you. It gets you hard. Wes, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. Yeah, just that's about all I'll say. I'm hanging in there right now. It's holidays where it's just it's 2020, man. I'm ready for a new year, and but yeah, good to be back and bullshit about some fights and stupid bets and all that good stuff, and great to be back, boys.
Well, we definitely have some stupid fights and some stupid bets to make on those stupid fights this week, so it should be fun. You know what? I've come around. Part of the reason that I stopped caring about MMA is that it was just mediocre UFC card after mediocre UFC card. But the beautiful thing, one of the few beautiful things about this time is that it has brought us some truly terrible MMA. And if there's anything better than great MMA, it's awful MMA. So, I love it. I love it. I'm back. I'm all the way back.
Some of the physiques that we've seen the past few weeks should have you fully back invested in the MMA.
For sure. There's a whole new division in the UFC. There's the T-shirt in the pool division is blowing up, absolutely blowing up. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Sean, what's going on with you?
Oh, just working a decent amount, so I can't complain in this 2020. So that's good stuff. And made some money on the fights last week. We got some very, very wrong and a couple really, really right. So when you can make money that way, it's good stuff.
The ones that we collectively agreed on, we all got wrong, and then some of the ones that you and I only agreed on, we got very, very right. So
yes, sir.
We'll go through that, but before we get into the MMA, Wes, you're probably the most in tune with Mike Tyson's career. What did you think about Iron? Well, maybe not Iron anymore. What did you think about Metal Mike in 2020?
He said Metal Mike. Hey, for a man that age, I pray to God I look like that when I'm his age.
No shit, yeah.
Surprisingly, I enjoyed the fuck out of that. I thought that was I thought it was really, really good, man. For what it was, 250-something-year-olds, but I saw today that it did over 1 million buys too. So, if that's true, man, has there ever been a man as big a draw for that many years as fucking Mike? That's crazy, man. But, dude, for what it was, I thought it was pretty good. It was a really good, hard sparring match. I didn't want to see either of those guys get fucking knocked out clean or something dumb. The only bad thing now is I think we're gonna get more of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Holyfield is already like begging Mike pretty much because he's the brokest of broke. He wants that bad. I guess I'd watch Tyson Holyfield.
I'll watch it on a stream like I watched this on a stream.
Exactly.
I'm not paying for it, and I wasn't one of those million plus. You can bet your ass on that. But for what it was, man. On the other side of it though, like the betting aspect, like holy shit, man. So people got absolutely fucked on that. If you bet Mike
better.
Yeah, if you bet Mike in that spot, man, did you get absolutely trucked on that? So I don't know how they go about doing that. Then also, like, Snoop is in a deal now with the people that put that on, the broadcast or the pay-per-view
Trailer.
that put that on. He's gonna do his own thing now. They're literally gonna have like a boxing club series type shit that Snoop's involved with, and you know it's just gonna be so many of these washed up fucks. But let me also say, watching YouTube boy Paul literally smoke fucking Nate that was maybe the fight of the night. That might have, out of UFC and all of it, that might have been the best thing of the night. I believe it was Bovada was laying minus 150 on Paul in that fight. And if you didn't get as much money down on that guy as you could, like, there was videos of Nate Robinson hitting pads for like 2 weeks. I've seen children throw better punches than fucking Nate Robinson. That was a gift to get down as much as you could on that. But all in all, man, that was good stuff. I enjoyed it.
It could have been a lot worse. I think that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess betting on that main event, you're kind of asking for it with all the bullshit that the athletic commission was talking about before the fight. How
you're talking to a guy who used to bet on pro wrestling, so
but at least
you can pull any bullshit that surprises me.
Yep.
When you bet professional wrestling, though, you know what you're getting into. I guess people that, I mean, they said this wasn't going to be a real boxing match. Like, I mean,
people saying that it was like fake or something like that. That wasn't fake, man. I mean, you take one of those body shots from Tyson at 60, 70 years old. I don't care how old he is. Take one of those body shots from Tyson. I don't think Tyson was trying to knock Roy out, though. I do agree with that.
He wasn't throwing the same to the head that he was to the body.
Yep. And Roy was pretty much doing what Roy does. Like, Roy was never going to knock out Mike.
But he was doing it as a 50-year-old man instead of Roy Jones.
One guy looked like he trained for that shit, though, and one really did. Like,
Tyson must have needed the money a whole lot more than Roy did.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyson's rich. I mean, Tyson's in the weed game. That guy's got all the money he wants. Roy walked out there looking like fucking Damon Wayans on fucking Great White Hope. Like, I swear, the whole time I was thinking, this motherfucker looks like Damon Wayans. Like, get the fuck out of here, Roy.
Oh man, yeah, it was entertaining. Kind of entertaining. It was way better than I thought, like Sean said. So that's all you can ask for. Didn't pay for it, won't pay for the next one, and there is going to be a next one. And, somewhere down the road, we're going to see Anderson Silva against one of these dudes.
Yes, sir.
Wes is going nuts. Mute him, Sean. There we go.
I know. Fuck, my bad.
Anyways, the other fights that happened last week, pretty entertaining. Not good, much like the boxing. It was better than I expected. So
there you go. Low expectations. That's how you should have all your shit going on in 2020.
Damn right. We're not even going to bother with the main event stuff first, because the main event on this card wasn't the main event. Well, we're just going to roll through from bottom to top like we normally do. Prelims, first fight on the card, we had 100% just pure, unmitigated Mook Sanders. I didn't see this fight, but I can tell. Okay, it was a second round submission loss. So he must have been beating the shit out of this dude in the first round. I'm just going in there, probably landing some big shots, holding him up against the cage a little bit. And then second round comes out, and he just probably decided to rush in, chin up, and got cracked with something, and then ended up with the dude on his back and got choked out. Am I right?
Pretty much. I mean, he did Luke the Mook Sanders things. He showed, some solid skills and was doing well in the fight, and then he decided to throw it all away.
Yeah.
Just starting off the night with a banger of a.
It was a great Munich.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Like
Munich.
that was what Lance and I said, that Luke Sanders is very on brand for Munich, and absolutely a dude that can blow it at any second of the fight, even though he's way better than his opponents. Yeah, he's the moat. He's the mookiest of all time.
Has there ever been a nickname that absolutely fit a guy more than Mook does on Mook Sanders? My God, man!
Perfect.
He almost finished the guy. Like he literally almost had him out of there, dude. And I knew what was going to happen when he didn't finish that dude. I was already chalking that shit as a loss. Knew what was going. What's so bad is there was multiple people on Twitter. My time was like, Sanders is going to blow this. Watch, he's going to lose this fight.
Wait for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what. Did you see any live lines after the first round?
Minus 700.
Fuck.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I saw some people tweeting that too, that it was a massive live line after the first round.
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh well.
Perfect.
What are you gonna do?
Speaking
honestly,
of awesome bets,
if that fight was minus 150 again for Sanders, I'd probably bet it against more.
I probably would too, and lose all the same.
Yeah, terrible bets. The Malcolm X name is very fitting for Malcolm Gordon because he had that delayed reaction. It looked like there was a sniper in the crowd somewhere that just put him down because, yikes, nobody likes getting hit less than that dude. Sean?
How can you be a professional fighter and just hate getting hit the amount that guy does? I just didn't think you could make it this far into a career when that was the case.
COVID times, maybe.
That's getting steamrolled twice in a row. Like I would assume he's cut, and he's gonna struggle to make it back to the UFC after those two showings. That's Canadian MMA, baby. We're doing our donation.
Got anything on that one, Wes?
It's just wild to see where the Canadian MMA is in 2020 though. Like, to arguably have the greatest fighter that's ever lived for all of those years, and then all of these mooks, and I don't know if I wouldn't say it's the bad thing about it. It's actually the good and funny thing about it is all the Canadians, the journalists, the MMA guys, it just gets so hyped about any dude that's like 12-0, 15-0 that they send on down, and they get just obliterated every single time. I'm interested in the China dude though. I mean, that dude's fucking big and long for that division, man. That was a nice finish too. We'll see. We always got to see those guys against dudes that can actually do a double leg, do a double leg mainly because most of the time they're fucked in those situations. But I mean,
I was gonna say we'll talk about Louis Smolka in a little while, but he got out wrestled by that dude. So
yeah.
Next up on the prelims, I don't think we're gonna take long here. Gina Mazzani beat Rachel Ostovich. This was a bad fight, and Rachel Ostovich is very, very bad at fighting. I think she might be retired now.
She needs to go full Instagram model because man, I lost money on this chick.
I did too, man. I lost a little chunk.
I mean, the only positive I think to take out of this is we're gonna get maybe a cheaper price on fading Mazzani next time. Because
she's still very fucking bad.
She's very bad.
Very.
That fight was terrible.
I have to say that might have been the first time I've ever seen somebody get reversed from north-south in that fashion. So,
skills, baby. Skills.
All I heard too was like that she's so much, or saw that she's so much better. She's training at this great
Give us
gym.
a line.
She's in the best shape we've ever seen. And I'm like, man, she's fighting a girl that literally is retired. And I ain't being sexist or nothing about it. old girl does need to go to Instagram and make fucking money. Make that money, girl.
She'll make way more there.
Exactly. I don't hate on none of that shit. Show what you got. You already do it anyway. Get paid as much as you possibly can.
For it.
Yeah, stop getting punched in your fucking face and go make some real money.
We know she's not training much by the looks of it.
Nah, man. Dude, I'm telling you, the chick that was I'm gonna retire and go do Instagram, like the one that fought, I believe it was who did she fight? Paige or a couple back? She'd have rolled Mazzani. Like, come on, dude. That chick could wrestle. She would have took her down and fucking subbed her or just laid on top of her for 15 minutes. She's done. She's out of it. I can't believe it. I can't believe I lost as much money on her as I did. I feel fucking stupid.
At least I only lost a tiny bit.
Next up, bantamweight division: Anderson dos Santos sub guillotine against Martin Day. I think there might be some. I made some terrible bets on the early portion of this card, but I'm absolutely going to toot my horn for the rest of the card. So get fucking ready for it, because it was good stuff. But I believe there is somebody that says that once Martin Day gets in grappling exchanges, he just decides that he's going to grapple. And he got in a grappling exchange, and then he shot a terrible takedown and let Anderson dos Santos just wrap up a guillotine. And it was a beautiful thing because, cashed a bet.
Very well done, Brad.
Did y'all have some sub? You had some sub, right?
Not on that one.
No.
Saving that one for later.
Yeah, he just had Dos Santos. But
yeah, I did too.
It was a fun fight while it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had some plus money on him. I think like plus 145 or something like that. Yeah, Martin Day is Denny Green. I mean, he's who we thought he was.
Yeah, I couldn't bet the sub in this one because like this guy got knocked out by Davy Grant. So that's always a danger.
That's who we're dealing with.
Let's get to this next one.
Let's
get to this one.
Featherweight division. All right. I said one of the blessings earlier about COVID is that we get terrible UFC cards, and they're way more entertaining than mediocre UFC cards. The other one is that we get completely unproven guys like Kai Kamaka III at minus 300 against other guys who are also pretty unproven. But there's no reason a guy like Kai Kamaka should ever be a minus 300. And we saw why. Sean, you want to talk about this one a little bit? Because you cashed a few on this.
Yeah, this is a good one for me. Kamaka's, it didn't look good for Kamaka. He looked like he gassed, and Pierce just took over. We got a nice price because he did lose to Joey fucking Lozon, but in a fight against just unproven guys, and he does have power. I'll take that. I was getting a little worried that he was really trying for that sub, and I'm just like, dude, just throw 8 more punches and this fight is over. But he kept tempting me, so TKO inside the distance and plus 3.5.
There you go. Wesley, anything here?
Oh yeah, this was my saving these 2 fights in. Yeah, I think it was plus 255 or something like that straight. I wish I had some inside the distance. Kamaka's gonna have that look in fights to where I still think we might end up getting another good price. Maybe down the road they're gonna give him some dude that he's gonna style on, and we'll get another good price. And Pierce is tough, man. He's a big dude for that division. I mean, I don't think he's great or anything, but no. I'm not. We'll see what they give him next time. I'm hoping we see another kind of dog money price on him against somebody that's around, that has a little bit of a name. I don't know, but we'll see. I like Pierce a whole lot more than Kamaka coming out.
Yeah, I know we saw a comment from our boy Dan Tom in the chat earlier, but it was not a good night for Hawaii. last Saturday.
Oh.
Rough there, but yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. You've got Kamaka, who beat up a bantamweight and didn't even beat him up. Needed a nut shot in the third round to gather himself and take that, and relied on takedowns in that fight. And now he was fighting a guy coming down from lightweight, and that's pretty much what it looked like. Next up, quick on this one because I don't fucking care. Norma Dumont decision in a fight that she probably should have stopped against Ashley Evans-Smith, who did not want to be there at all.
It was a little clinch for the old GOAT decision, but it pulled through. It
always does. Wes,
Yep.
do you care about this one?
No.
Good boy. Featherweight division. We've got Bill Algeo. Let's call him Bill Algeo because he was out here doing the Lord's work, taking out the Jew-hating Spike, the Jew-hating Jesus freak Spike Carlisle. In addition to the narrative that Spike Carlisle is a terrible person, I enjoyed this fight, and when he can't just strength dudes to death, he is not very good at fighting. And hopefully we get another chance or two to fade that as we go forward. Wes, you got anything here?
Yeah, I like Aljo. Just him saying he's taking out the Jesus freaks for us. That dude moves all the way up in my book. I didn't have anything on this fight. I hate myself for not taking some plus money on him here. I can't remember who didn't Spike lose last time. I think I bet they got
Billy Q.
Billy. He lost to to Billy and then Bill.
Billy Q. Yeah, that's right. I don't get it with this dude. He's not good whatsoever.
No, he's strong, and that's
it.
Sean, anything?
You got Renner.
Yeah. I had Carlisle decision at like plus 400 for half a unit or whatever.
At least I kept you off the money line and pointed you in that direction.
Yep.
But I was on Algeo from the hop in this one. Just
that was smart.
Better at fighting.
He's just better.
Yeah. Next up, oh boy, this was a beautiful thing. This
is what brought you back. What brought you back.
Yeah, this one had my loins aflame. Just two big boys, Porky Porker, and during the fight, I crowned a new nickname for this dude. It's Carbo Parisian. It's the Armenian brother who was displaced into the Midwest. We got Carbo here, and man, he looked the part. He was a fat dude, and he gassed out real quick, and cashed a nice little plus 800 on this bad boy. So, and obviously a fatty's gonna fatty because it's real. It's still real. It's more real than it's ever been. Sean, you got anything?
Not too much. I mean, it was glorious, and I guess
it was fun. It was actually really fun.
It was a lot better than what it could have been for how it went down. But yeah, Go's decision was like plus 350.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah.
These shitty heavyweights. It's always a possibility.
I'll take it every day of the week. All right, co-main event, welterweight division. We had Miguel the Caramel Macchiato Baeza doing pretty much what we said he was going to do. Sato got tired a little bit in the second round. He took him down, and Sato cannot grapple, so he ended up putting him away with the submission. So that one was quite nice in terms of, I think on the pod last week said I wasn't sure. He was going to get bet in some form or fashion. I didn't end up taking the money line, which honestly would have been a fantastic one, but little 900 on the sub never hurts.
Yeah, I had him in a parlay. That dude's good, and it was good to see that he used actual decent fight IQ when he saw that Sato was gassed and he knows he has a grappling advantage and just dusted him. That guy's good, man. It'll be interesting to see who they match him up with next, but he's got some skills.
Wesley, any thoughts on the macchiato man?
It depends on how my mic sounds.
Oh, it sounds perfect
good
now. Yeah,
perfect.
That's good. All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, I'm getting hard just thinking about it.
I know.
I mean, if I say macchiato in the southern slang, yeah, I'm with y'all. I like that dude, man. There was a little worry. I think it was the Matt Brown fight. He caught some punches, but I mean that dude can
Fought through it.
and Matt Brown can like strike. That guy's got years of all that box stuff. He's going to land on a young guy like that. He's going to get his. So I don't think that's so much to worry about. But this was a great performance, man. Just the length and the size on that dude. He's fucking strong. Got subs. You see that. I mean, I think he's a really good fighter. I'm very intrigued to see what they do with El Macchiato.
Yeah, you talked about the length and the size, and he's got like pretty long arms and legs too. So that's another good thing he's got going on for him.
That's secondary to the.
He's kind of like a poor man's Luke, Like, I mean, he gets hit, but his offense is very, very good. I mean, who knows if he'll ever grow out of it? If he doesn't, he's going to be in some fun-ass fights, and if he does, he could be a pretty damn good fighter.
Yeah, he doesn't quite have the same output, but I think he's a little bit smarter about his output.
Where was he? Luke. Where's he training at? Didn't he go to like a
MMA Masters, I think.
Yeah.
So like
that's Covington,
Luis Palomino and Covington. That shows you. I've been watching the sport way too long. When the first person I think of is Luis Palomino for MMA Masters, but whatever. Main event.
Sad.
Yeah, Devin Clark charges in and gets taken down by Anthony Smith and pretty swiftly submitted after a reversal. Honestly, I am kind of glad that this all played out the way it did, because when this was a 3-round fight, I was leaning towards picking Clark. When it switched to 5, I was like, yeah, Smith's gonna finish him at some point, but I'm lucky because, man, there was a huge skill gap in this one, and Smith pulled it off.
That's pretty much what we learned in this fight. Skill gap's big, and Smith isn't as washed as he needed to be for that to kind of even out. Yeah. The dude's got a pretty good ground game. I think he actually has a black belt, but he uses it for sub defense really well in a lot of fights. And when he can use it against some shittier guys, it'll work for offense as well. So I'm cool with this because I'm still looking to fade Anthony Smith. I just don't think that guy is good.
Yes, sir.
He's not great, man. Like and you're right about his jiu-jitsu and shit. It's more defensive. He was just fighting an absolute bum on the mat. I mean, a fucking bum. If Devin Clark could have just kept this up for a few minutes, I'm telling you, I'd still bet him again at that price. Like, he's knocking Anthony Smith out if he can just keep it on. He's an idiot. You got to just price in dumb fuck on Devin Clark. I mean, it should already been priced in, but it really not. Anthony Smith, he's an okay fighter, man. I thought that him coming into the UFC, I've bet against that guy more than I've bet on him. And now I think his chin's going to, like I said, Devin Clark knocks him out at this stage, stays standing for a few minutes. I still think so. I'm with Sean. Give me another dog price on somebody decent against him, and I'll be fading you.
Yeah, it's man, going back the last few years and looking at the guys that have challenged for the light heavyweight title, it is pretty sad. Anthony Smith was in there. Ozdemir was in there. Who else was Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes? Neither of those guys is particularly good. It's been a rough run for the light heavyweight division. So we'll see what happens moving forward if it can get saved. But I'm not sure that's the case. We actually did a pretty swift job of moving through that card. So under the half-hour mark, just by a hair, which beats us normally by about 10 minutes.
How's my mic sounding?
It's good again.
Messed up.
No, now it's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
So this is what you
need
get
to stop
for $400 laptops on Black Friday.
Wes, you're okay when you've just got
Dude,
this tab open. When you start opening up the Pornhub tabs, man, that's when it starts to just crack all over the
overload.
place.
I mean, I gotta do my tape study. Dude, the other laptop I used after my good one crapped out was $100 fucking whatever
Always
the
looking
fuck
for
they
that
are.
bargain, baby.
Dude, I don't blame you. I did some great tape study on Rachel Ostovich last week. Incredible. It really helped me get an edge on that fight.
I did too.
You were edging, all right.
I did too, and it cost me a bunch of money. I was blinded.
All right, moving on to this week, we have UFC Vegas. What
15.
number do we got?
15.
No, that was last week, Sean.
Oh, fuck, did they? Oh, UFC didn't change on their fucking Twitter.
I was just going to make up a number, and then you had to go out and pull an obviously wrong number.
Oh, fuck me, it's 16. UFC didn't change it yesterday. Usually they're on their shit as soon as Monday comes. They're pumping out the new hashtag.
UFC Fight Night Sweet 16, baby.
Oh, man.
We've got a good main event, although it's been thrown together on short notice. And then the rest of it's like a Show XC card. It's
I don't know. I wouldn't even compare some of that shit to Show XC. Some of that stuff was good. I mean, this has gotten bad.
I have to say, although this card is objectively bad, there's some fun fights that are on this one. I think this will be all right. And I also, depending on when you refresh the card order, it might be different because I've seen it change a couple times today.
Is our boy Ben trying to give away or fake give away somebody else's jersey? Are y'all seeing this?
It got donated, man. It's legit.
I mean,
who donated it?
Nobody knows.
The first stock photo on Google search of
How dare you besmirch Benjamin?
Guys, if you haven't been following Ben's 12 Days of Christmas, we're a day and a half in, and
he's already
broke. It's done.
Those field goal props will get you.
That shit like a couple weeks ago when first time he's ever tweeted to me in his life, and he said something stupid, and then that night he goes 1-5, loses over 6 units on his football bet. It was so good. Nobody does it like that, man. Nobody.
You don't mess with the sodsman. You don't pull that shit because he'll put the hex on you. We'll put the Colvin curse on you.
If I get cancer, man. If I get cancer. That's all I have to say.
One of the greatest tweets of all time.
Yep.
All time. All right. We're gonna start it off. We're coming hot out the gates. In this Sweet 16 card here, we've got, this is for the number one contendership in the T-shirt in the pool division. We got Pasta Gianni Villante taking on Jake the Welder Collier. This is some shit at heavyweight, no less. Man, I cannot wait for the weigh-ins. This is this is one of the most intense moments of the entire fight week. Is Collier going to have a T-shirt on? Is he going to show that belly? What's going to happen at weigh-ins, man? I want to know. Wes, what do you got?
I think you just like broke down the main part of this. Man, holy shit! Like, I don't know if we've seen too many like body transformations of a guy that like goes away for a couple of years, comes back like a welder and has another job. And it's
usually they come back on steroids or something. They look
something good.
Yeah, you usually those. Let's say the opposite. That's usually the body transformation. Guy goes away, comes back. He's fucking 60 pounds. This dude literally looks like a different human. He looks like they pulled him off of a bar stool after a fucking 60-hour work week. Fucking Villante doesn't look good at heavyweight either, but come on, man. Like, he should maul Jake Collier. That guy's done. Seriously, somebody said that he's literally a welder now, working like 60 hours a week. Maybe our boy Bronister, man, like, if Villante can't beat this guy, I mean, he was beating the shit out of, I believe it was Maurice Green, wasn't it? And just does some dumb shit and gets caught right at the end. Collier's not pulling that off, man. Can I bet Villante? Fuck, I don't know, man. I might parlay into something. I'm not sure what he is inside the distance. I think he finishes Collier here. Now, fatties, is that it? Are we getting a 1.5 on fatties here?
It's a 1.5, but it's minus 160. So
but I could absolutely see this going over that with Villante laying his fucking ass on top of Collier and just fucking beating on him for a couple of rounds and getting a finish in the third round. So I'm picking Villante here. I haven't bet anything, but yeah, that'd be the way I'd go.
Well, we move on from this fight. Wes, try and fix your mic because it is indeed fucking ass and tits. Sean, what do do you got on the
I don't have much. I don't have much. SureDog has not updated their photo of Jake Collier, and if that's not fucking illegal, then I don't know what is, because this man is two of those people at this point. Are we gonna get hand in the cookie jar photo version 2? That shit, his photo, he looks like he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar or something. I gotta believe that Villante beats him. Collier looks terrible. Doesn't seem like he's training. He's just looking for some extra cash. But there is 0% chance that I will put money on John Villante in 2020.
It's tough, man, because I could definitely see Jean Villante just landing anything and getting him out of there. Because even when Collier was in shape, he was not a durable fighter. Now he is a very different kind of shape, but even less durable than he was before. So Villante could land something, anything, and get him out. But if this fight goes 4 minutes, this fight is going 15 minutes. It's going to be one of the ugliest, most spectacular things you've ever seen in your life. I hope that's what happens. I haven't bet it, but honestly, it's getting to the point where I'm kind of thinking that I have to play Pastigiani in this one, because Collier doesn't look like a fighter. He doesn't look like he's training to be a fighter. Doesn't look like he wants to be a fighter.
He wants a paycheck, bro.
That's right. Apparently, he's out a welding job since 2020. That's the only thing that brought him back to the octagon. So, yeah, the pick is Villante I don't have any bets on this at the present time. That fatty's gonna fatty price is just a bit too much to trust a guy like Jake Collier. Moving on, featherweight division. This one is I could see this being some fun. I could see a few decent grappling exchanges in this one, but we have Damon the Leech Jackson against a trend that I'm starting to see in MMA. It used to be the overhyped Russians, which there is one on this card, no doubt.
Yep.
But man, these Georgians. If you say a guy is from Georgia, I don't care if it's the state, I don't care if it's the country. He's absolutely overhyped, and I will be willing to fade him at the drop of a hat. Sean, what do you got for us on Leech and the top urinal?
I mean,
Does
the
this work?
Leech. Wesley. He's bringing in the big boy.
Yeah, it does.
Is this working?
Oh
Yes,
my
it
goodness!
sounds beautiful, and all the fans appreciate it, Wes.
Well, I had to break out the gaming headset. Fuck.
Yes, sir.
Hey, half of the viewership of this podcast is for those dulcet tones.
Mm-hmm.
We are here.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, Jackson surprised a bit last fight. I know Bektic is a very, very flawed fighter, but I mean, he was a big underdog there. I think this is going to be a fun fight, and I don't know, man. Topuria, whatever the hell his name is. He's from Spain? I thought you said he was Georgian.
Oh, he's Georgian.
Oh, okay.
He fights out of Spain, but he's Georgian.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
that
fair.
means.
That's fair. I think he's getting hyped up a bit too much. I know, like, he was a bit of an underdog against Zalal, and people were a bit hyped up on Zalal, but I think he was just one of those guys that he won some fights during a pandemic when people can't fucking train. So I think this is going to be grappling, and in a grappling match, it's should be a closer fight than this. I don't have any money on Jackson yet, but I'm kind of looking that way. I think he doesn't do as well in the feet. If this is going to be in his world, it could be a lot closer than what the odds are saying.
Wesley, Jackson, and a top urinal. What do we got?
Tapioca.
Yeah, I don't think it's too hard to break down. I just think we got another spot here to where if Topuria doesn't get Jackson out of there fairly early on the feet, I think this could get ugly and grapply, and that's Jackson's world, man. It's just another spot where he's a 2-1 dog, and I don't think he should be that high. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna take some of the Leech here. I hit the nice one against Bektic last time. Sean's right. Bektic is a flawed fighter, and I think we all kind of broke that fight down the same. As far as I can remember, I think we all had a little bit of Leech in that fight. I just feel the same here. It's just he's getting a little bit disrespected against a guy without the experience that he has. So at over 2-1, I think it's worth another little shot here.
How nuts is it that we've gone to the point where a guy like Damon Jackson, who was bad in the UFC back in like 2014 and 2015, now actually belongs with these guys? It's kind of wild to me. But going back to Sean's point, Topuria beat Zalal, and he was hyped up because he had wins over Austin Bingo, Jordan Griffin, and Slippery Pete Barrett. So yeah, a bunch of guys who also don't belong in the UFC, and now he's a more than 2-1 favorite against Damon Jackson, who can seriously grapple, and grappling is his best attribute. I think maybe if this guy's got some hidden striking or something like that, he's going to come out here and he could probably smoke Jackson on the feet if he's a good striker, but I haven't seen that at any point. he always wants to go to his grappling. He seems to do that pretty early. He leaves his head stuck in there when he's shooting takedowns, and Jackson is not the guy you want to do that against. So I took a little bit of Jackson at plus 200 in this fight. I know that Bet Online opened the sub prop at plus 800, and it's about half of that now.
Oh.
So if you grab some of that, that was probably a solid play. But yeah, I think the veteran is in a good spot in this one because Topuria also got reversed like 4 times by Zalal in that fight. He was in some sub attempts and some places where if you're in that against a guy who can't really grapple, sure, you're fine. If you're in those spots against Damon Jackson, not so much. So I'm on Jackson in that fight. Next up in the flyweight division, we've got Jimmy Flick, who had a whole bunch of good nickname options, and he picked the Brick for a guy that fights at flyweight against this dude. He doesn't even have a nickname, and his last name's Durden. How is it not Tyler? I don't know. He's from Georgia. He must be dumb.
I mean, he's not the smartest person. I mean, he goes to a shitty tout that is up 5 units in the last 3 years for a scouting report. How smart can this fighter actually be?
Give it to him, Sean. Break it down.
I mean, I guess that scouting report's kind of bought and paid for when the guy just gives you money to, I guess, put his shitty name on his shorts.
Only fans.
Man, these fighters. Yeah, this should be a good fight. Jimmy Flick was awesome on the Contender Series. Dude was just going for 1 million subs. I think he can make this into a scrambly fight, and he should probably win. Regardless, I think somebody's getting finished in this fight. Jimmy Flick is gone to like 3 decisions in 20 fights, and Durden's gone to 2 in 13 fights. Like, these guys finish guys. So I think it's going to be Jimmy Flick getting a submission. But I the doesn't go to decision prop opened at minus 160 at Bet Online, and I got 2 units on it.
Very nice.
It's kind of gone way up now, but I think Flick wins here.
Wesley,
he better.
Yeah, that was a good snipe there. That's a good line because you're right. This fight isn't going to a decision. Jimmy Flick's like got some skills and has fought some decent guys and shit. I think whatever his name is should have been Tyler. I just don't think he's fighting the competition. You touched on like something that's legitimate. Like we make fun, but if your scouting report seriously is shit coming from, a podcaster and MMA better, like, and shit, like, come on, man, that's not the
not even a good one.
And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean the come on, man. I like Flick inside the distance. That's kind of the way I'm looking now. That I think, Sean, the line you got on fight inside the distance, this kind of saves you, man. Flick is wild. He's gonna go for shit. I don't think he's like Tim Elliott dumb though, going for shit and doing all that. He still keeps a little position and stuff in those scrambles. So I do think he catches. I think it gets on the mat eventually, and he does catch a sub, but. Sub is about 10 cents off what Flick inside the distance is, so you might as well just take that inside the distance. So, that's the way I'm looking at it. Flick inside the distance, like a bet on that as well.
Yeah, Flick is an incredibly fun grappler. Just super fun. He's always going for submissions when he's either on top or on bottom, and I think that's going to work out well for him in this fight because Durden, he's a wrestler. It's weird because I've heard multiple takes on his wrestling career. I heard that he was a 2-time state champion in high school. And then I heard that he was a D1 wrestler in college. And then somebody said that he was a 2-time All-American in college.
Shit.
What?
Yeah, and then I was like, all right, what the fuck is actually up with this? So I just Googled like Cody Durden wrestling, and I got an article that was written by his hometown paper before he debuted in Contender Series.
Okay.
And he was a 2-time state qualifier in high school. And in his senior year, he was like a state finalist or something like that. And since then, he's torn both his ACLs.
Nice.
So he couldn't take down Lance at this point, is what you're saying.
In his fights, he seems to want to wrestle. That's like his default setting. And whether he's able to get Flick down or Flick gets him down, I think it's a bad move for him, because Flick is a limited fighter. His striking is terrible, but he knows his striking is terrible. And that's why he doesn't strike. That's why he is just constant grappling 100% of the time. And I think if this hits the mat, this dude almost got armbarred by Chris Gutierrez from the bottom. So if he spends any significant time on the ground with Jimmy Flick, he's going to get tapped. I think Jimmy Flick is going to get him out of there. I think he's going to get him out of there pretty quick. Pretty brick, one might say, if they were shitty at choosing nicknames. But yeah, Jimmy Flick's the pick here. I do have him in a parlay with somebody later on the card. Speaking of later on the card, lightweight division, handsome Matt Wiman still sticking around in 2020, taking on Jordan. Take it or leave it. No, we're not going to go with that. It's all right. I mean,
how does Wiman get a third fight in the UFC?
Because everyone wants to fight, man. Everyone wants to fight. They can't book enough fights for all the guys that want to fight, Sean.
Yeah. He hasn't fought in a year, so he didn't even fight during the pandemic. Like, are they really scraping the barrel that fucking bad that they gotta give Matt Wiman another fight after getting absolutely fucking owned in the last 2 fights? I don't know much about Jordan Leavitt. The guy he beat on Contender Series had a pretty inflated record, but beat a bunch of shitty guys. He himself has he's beaten a bunch of really shitty guys, so I don't know if he's that good. I'm sure he's good enough to beat an absolutely beyond washed Matt Wiman. I'm just leaving it. I know Matt Wiman's so gone, but I still don't really want to have money on pretty unknown people.
Not sure if you guys noticed how Sean subtly slipped in there that he was just gonna leave it. Nothing. Wes, what do you got here?
Oh man, I can't top that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I get all that about leave it, but come on, man, it's Matt Wiman at 38 or something, and you're talking like he's been off a year. That's coming off of 2 losses after being off 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we even doing here? Like, is it that bad? Like, we got this many shitty fights we got to put on it? Like, Matt Wiman's getting a third back to lose after a 5-year layoff. Yeah, I like take it or leave it. I'm probably gonna get some inside the distance. I think he catches Wiman at something too. He's got a lot of nice subs. I believe he got a sub on his Contender Series fight. Wiman's gonna get caught here, and I think it's like 30 cents or something like that. I just get burned sometimes with those. So inside the distance at around even money's gonna probably be where I go. But yeah, you gotta bet against Wiman here. Come on, man. You gotta take that. I think this is almost a free play.
So Sean's on leave it. Wes is on take it.
There you go.
I am also on take it.
There
Because Matt Wiman, honestly, he's a pretty good grappler. He's never been subbed in his career. He's got a bunch of submission wins. I don't necessarily think that he's going to get subbed in this fight, but even when he was a good grappler, this dude could never wrestle at all. So Leavitt is going to take this to the ground. He is going to try a bunch of submission attempts. He might land one. I don't know. But in the fights that I've seen of his, which is the Contender Series and his LFA, he just keeps going for subs. He doesn't really seem to get tired when he's grappling, which is what you see from a lot of these good jiu-jitsu guys is they're able to grapple. That's what they do. They do it for hours a day. So I don't see him getting tired by trying to sub Matt Wiman and failing, even if he does fail. And then if he does get the sub, sure, that's great too. So I have Leavitt. I'm taking it parlayed. What was the previous fight that we were just talking about? Oh, yeah, Flick. I've got him parlayed with Flick, and I have a second parlay with Leavitt and a guy later on the card because I've got to fade Matt Wiman at this point in his career. Leavitt in the future, this guy cannot strike at all. So
how many touts are going to go out and double dip on old Leavitt now after watching Brad give that out like that?
Good luck with that, Brad.
Yeah,
that's right. But he's absolutely, there's going to be a spot probably soon where you can fade this guy. But this is not it. When he faces a guy that can wrestle, he'll be in trouble. Next up, we got the bantamweight division. We got Louis Smokes, friend of the MMA analysis, taking on Jose Alberto Taco Quinonez. Wes, I have a question for you. If you were to grade Taco on the taco continuum, so let's say at the bottom end, it's that like the ground beef that expires that day and they slap the 50% off sticker on it. So he's got that on the low end, or there's, let's keep it with beef. And the high end is like a nice beef barbacoa taco. Where do you think Taco Quinonez falls on that scale?
As for fighting?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's over like that last day sell beef. Like
yeah.
He's definitely,
but not too much though.
Well, no, it's probably that stuff where it's like you need to eat it or freeze it by like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? That's probably Taco Quinonez at this point. Yeah,
there it is.
You can break down the fight too.
What do you got?
And Sean, when he's done, you go, and I'm gonna get a beer.
All right. Speaking on that, I think though Taco is he's a pretty tough out. I know last time he did get smoked by everybody's favorite getting high gamer kid or whatever.
Gamer.
Yeah. But I still think Quinonez is tough. What more in this fight, how I'm looking to bet it is that it's more who he's fighting at this point. And Louis Smoke is just, I don't know, man. There was a point there where he was like kind of bad, and then seemed like his skills developed. I know everybody wants to say like he quit drinking and shit. I don't think it was just the drinking. I think he actually focused on fighting and getting a little better. And he had like some wins there for a little bit. I don't know. It just seems like the guy's totally regressed from that point. And besides that, when Smokey does win, it's when he fucks up and ends up catching somebody and something nice. He does have pretty good jiu-jitsu off his back and stuff when he gets in those spots at times. So I like the under in this spot. I just think there's going to be a finish. I think if Quinonez, gets on top of Smolka and is landing something, he might get him out of there. Or probably more often than not, Smolka's going to catch him with something stupid and crazy. So I can't back Smolka anymore at this point. He's cost me so many times, and I thought like this is a really good spot for Smolka in this fight. The line's there to bet him again, which is bad. Like I've looked at Smolka, like I do think he's better than 3-day taco meat here, but like I said, he just every time you think he's in a good spot at a good price, he fucking blows it, man. So I'm just gonna take the under here. It's at some decent plus money, maybe fight inside the distance, get you a couple more minutes there. But fuck it, if Smolka keeps coming down, I'm probably gonna put a small bet on him. I do think he's the better guy here, man, overall. But yeah, the under for me. I really like the under at plus money. This fight is not going to go 15 minutes. Well, 12 and a half.
Sean?
Yeah, I mean, what did we break this fight down? How many weeks ago was that? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks.
3 weeks? 2.5 weeks ago? Something like that. I don't think much has changed since then. We got another weight cut. I know Smolka was the one that pulled out last time. It's rough cutting down to 125, and he's got to do it again. So you do worry about his cardio and his chin and all that fun stuff. So I like my bet even more now. Last time I took doesn't go to decision, it was like plus 155. I think it came down a bunch, and it ended up closing, I think, plus 100 or something before it got canceled. So when Bet Online opened like plus 125, I took that, and then Dimes opened it plus 150. I don't understand the price moving from what it closed at, and then what has happened since. Like I just expect this fight to finish. Like Wes said, Louis Smolka forces fights to be fun, and whether it's to his detriment or not is another story. I think he's gonna go for shit. He's gonna go for shit early, and he probably doesn't get it. And Quinonez takes over and finishes this guy. I know Quinonez has a bunch of decisions, but this is a guy that kind of forces you to finish him by either giving you a good fight and forcing those encounters, or just giving you an arm or a neck or whatever. So I'll pick Quinonez, and I got 2 units for doesn't go decision at plus 138. We'll call it.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we broke down this fight, and I'm not sure if you can read what's on that beer can, but the does not go to decision was a Munich. And that was before Lance reacquired the AIDS. So he was in his right headspace. I know that the Munich, it hasn't been too nice the last couple of weeks. Lance has just been mailing it in. It's absolutely his fault that we have lost every Munich bet since he hasn't been on the podcast. So he's out of the picture this time. And instead of going for this fight doesn't go to decision, I'm switching it up. I'm making the executive decision that we're not even doing a Munich. This is just going to be the consensus. Under 2.5 in this fight. I grabbed it at a slightly better price. It's still at the plus 145. But Louis Smolka, every time we say his name or break down one of his fights, we have to mention that he is the only active UFC fighter to participate in Toutmaster. Big friend of the MMA analysis. And honestly, I hope that he comes out there and he gets this done in the first round, which is a possibility. Like he's the favorite in this fight, very slightly. And if he wins this fight, it is 100% going under. I have no idea why anyone who is thinking of betting Louis Smolka in this fight would play anything other than the under. The last time he won a decision was in 2015 against Neil Seery. It's
It's been a while since he's been out of the first.
Yeah,
been a while.
He does not do well in fights that go long, and he knows that. And the fact that his cardio hasn't looked great at times. He's also coming off a failed weight cut. He's also got to cut weight again 2 weeks later. All of these factors, it seems like he is going to come out there. He is going to just go balls to the walls for a finish early on. And if he doesn't get it, he's probably screwed in this fight. Last time, I actually had a bet on Quinonez alongside that doesn't go to decision. This time, I'm just going straight up under. I think that Smolka either comes out, gets it done in the first round, or Quinonez is going to take over. And I really don't think that Smolka has 12 and a half or more minutes in him in a fight that he's losing. We used to see this guy put himself in bad spots all the time and get out of them. He doesn't do that anymore. Since he's come back to the UFC, he was getting smoked on the feet against Matt Schnell. Took him down, almost got guillotined, almost got triangled, pulled out of those, jumped back into another triangle and got triangled. Yeah. You can say he looked good against Ryan McDonald, but I think Ryan McDonald might be the only bantamweight on earth that's slower than Luis Smolka. There was a GIF going around earlier today of Aldo's body shot against Jeremy Stevens. And I actually messaged Dan Tom, and I was like, Dan, give me your honest opinion. Who do you think throws faster body shots? Jose Aldo in slow motion or Luis Smolka? And he was like, man, it's close. It's close. He's so slow. And even against that Ryan McDonald, that dude landed like everything on him. So I think that Quinonez can land a bunch of stuff, even if it goes to the ground. If Smolka doesn't get him out of there early, he always puts himself in bad spots, and he just doesn't get out of them anymore. So I think there's a finish in this fight for sure. And I got plus 160 on the under 2.5. I think that is phenomenal. The plus 145 that is still around. That is going to be the MMA analysis consensus bet of the week. So hope Smolka gets it done in the round one, because that would just make it nice and quick and tidy for us to pick up that W. And we'll move on to the next one, which is up one weight class in the featherweight division. We have Nate the Train Landwehr. I feel like if my last name was Landwehr, my nickname would be like Nate Cargo Shorts Landwehr or something like that. Something, real spicy, get the people excited rather than Train. And we've got a guy who's, if his name was like Mike Emery instead of Movsar Evloev, people wouldn't give a single solitary shit about him. Sean, what do you got to say about this one?
I mean, I thought that Evloev was going to be good. I mean, he might still be. I guess he's still pretty young. He's 26. I really don't think he should be a minus 600 favorite. That number is fucking wild.
It's a thing that exists.
This dude, since he's got to the UFC, has not been able to finish anybody. I know he's fought some okay gritty guys, so maybe that's why, but I just don't know if he has finishing capability at the UFC level at 135 pounds. He got taken down a bunch in his last fight. Grundy is a pretty solid wrestler. I know he likes to usually take down other guys. I don't know if he'll be able to take down Landwehr. Landwehr showed pretty solid takedown defense against Darren Elkins. And this dude throws a solid amount of volume on the feet, and has shown some decent power on the regional scene. So, man, This should not be what it is.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I bet
Do
it.
it.
Fuck it. Oh, I bet it. I bet it
Yeah.
at plus 425. I might add. It's plus 500. That's fucking dumb.
Damn,
Evloev-
I don't know about that.
Evloev is a
Wes
minus
is gonna do it now
600
too.
favorite. You can lay minus 600. That's fucking
Oh
wild.
no, I'm not touching. No, I ain't touching fucking generic. Fucking
I mean, fair
Russian
enough.
dude minus 600.
This card sucks for bets. So maybe I'm forcing it. I don't know what it is, but I really don't think this fight should be like minus 300 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah,
minus
yeah.
600. Like
Yeah.
Landwehr, I know he's not great, but he's durable, and this fight is going to be on the feet. He can throw volume. I mean, he did get knocked out by Herbert Burns, but I don't know, man.
That was
seems
a
wild.
massive knee.
Yeah, a massive knee.
So
I just don't know. I don't know. I'm probably going to just stay with the one unit I have on Landwehr at plus 425, but at plus 500, it might be worth adding another half unit. Fuck it. This card is trash.
Wes.
Look, I get what you're saying, man. Like, there's no way this guy should be that kind of price, but I just feel like this is one of those bets to where it's just a value bet that's going to lose you a little bit of money, man. Landwehr, the volume's probably going to be there, but I think that works against him in this fight because I just think Evloev is going to just beat him to that punch more often than not in this fight. It's going to bring that out of him because Landwehr is going to be rushing at him, and he's the more slick stand-up guy and stuff than Landwehr. I don't think Landwehr is going to be able to land enough to take a decision here, which that's probably what it's going to be. It's going to end up going to the judges' scorecards. It's probably going to be one of those close but clear 29, 28, 30, 27s for the generic Russian. I can't blame you for taking a little shot. I just don't see it with Landwehr, man. I just don't think he's going to be able to beat this guy to the punch. I really don't. I don't think much of Evloev, but just think he's a little bit slicker, and he's going to have to throw a little more because Landwehr's going to be coming forward. The guy's he's not great, man. He's tough and he throws a little volume, but I just don't think he's great. I get the shot though. Evloev should not be fucking minus 630 or 650 or whatever he is. That is kind of crazy.
No,
There's no plus 3.5 out yet, but I'm playing that when it comes out.
I was going to say, Sean, what's the
I could see that
3.5? Because I know
Points,
you're on that for sure.
I could see the points a whole lot more if there's a good price.
Just one
on that.
round. All I need is one round from Landwehr.
That would be something I might be interested in right there.
Yeah, for me, this line is silly. I haven't bet Landwehr yet, but I'm thinking about it. Man, we just talked about how on last week's card there was a guy who was coming down and was the bigger guy and was able to sort of win the grappling exchanges because of that. I don't think that 100% applies in this case, but Evloev is a bantamweight. He's decided that he's a featherweight, but that dude should be a bantamweight. He's not a big guy. He's not big enough to be a featherweight. And I think that he'll probably have some success getting takedowns early. And honestly, he needs to, because if he doesn't get takedowns and if he doesn't start racking points up on Landwehr, even when Landwehr does get taken down, we saw Herbert Burns had him in a super deep choke, and he managed to fight his way out of that and get back up to his feet. Unfortunately, he got smoked by a knee in that fight, so it didn't matter. But he's got good submission defense. He always gets back up to his feet. The dude just fought Darren Elkins, and Elkins, we know he's not like the greatest wrestler, but he is going to stay all over you in terms of wrestling, and eventually he's going to get takedowns, except against Landwehr, he didn't. So what happens in this fight when Evloev tries to go for a takedown? Landwehr stuffs it. They end up in the clinch, and you've got an actual featherweight who's elbowing and kneeing and just sort of beating the shit out of this little bantamweight Russian who thinks he's some tough shit. So, man, it is very, very tempting for me to take the shot on Landwehr here. I think I'm probably going to wait because, I mean, this guy's a Russian, so all of the touts are going to parlay the shit out of him.
He's
even
gonna-
at
He's
minus
gonna be
600.
he's gonna be so parlayed. Every fucking tout on the planet is gonna have him parlayed.
So, and the other thing is, he's not a finisher at all.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
no.
it comes back to the fact that he is a bantamweight fighting at featherweight. He doesn't have the power to finish these guys. He doesn't have the submission game to finish these guys. And even if he did, better submission artists haven't been able to finish Landwehr. So this fight is either going to decision, or maybe Landwehr can wear him down and get a stoppage late. I don't know what the round 3 prop is. It's probably absolutely stupid.
25.75.
Woo, God,
There you go.
yeah.
That seems like the type of stupid shit that I'll throw like a quarter of a unit on. I think Landwehr by decision is like plus 800 or plus 900, something like that. That seems like kind of stupid shit I'll throw a quarter of a unit on. But man,
Y'all talk me into a lot of shit on here. And it's
blame
not,
us when it loses.
it's not happening on no money line, but I've been talked into that. Landwehr could definitely take a round here. I'm very interested in that points handicap. Very interested.
You'll probably get like plus 200 on a points handicap,
Yep.
bare minimum. So I'm going to have something on Landwehr on this fight. I don't know quite what it is yet, but this line is nuts. The Russian kid's all right. He's going to be a good bantamweight, but he needs that lesson that he's not a featherweight. And maybe this is it. Maybe it isn't. But he's moving in that direction for sure. Next up, we got a light heavyweight bout between John Allan, who is surprisingly a British dude, a Brazilian dude, not a British dude, taking on Roman Doolittle. Wes, what do you got here?
Man, I really have no idea here. I kind of came in blind on this card to begin with. I got no clue here, man. I can't even.
That's fair.
I think I kind of remember the animal talker a little bit. I don't know if I've ever heard of John Allan. This guy's Brazilian,
Right?
He fought only once. I mean, he fought on the Contender Series Brazil. That doesn't really count. But he fought Mike Rodriguez, and Mike Rodriguez was on the weeds, so he's got it. Rodriguez's win got overturned.
They
No. Wasn't Allan on the juices?
No, I thought Rodriguez was on the weeds.
No, because Allan won that fight.
Yeah, I know. Oh, what?
Yeah, Allan was on the juices. He was on that Amazon special sauce. That one.
Oh, I remember him getting choked on the Contender Series, I think.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I don't know. God.
That's fair. Sean?
Yeah, I got nothing on this fight. Doolittle beat the worst fighter, the worst Russian ever, maybe, and Bragimov. He's fucking terrible.
Can't it be both?
Yeah, fair enough. I really have nothing on this fight. I don't care. I don't know why this is on the main card. There's much better fights that are on before this, but for some reason this is on a main card. So I'll probably go take a piss during this fight.
I'll be very quick on this one. I said earlier that, like, if you're from Georgia, the state or the country, there's probably a good chance that I'll fade you. This dude did not show a lot in the Bragimov fight. I had a bet on him in that fight because he was fighting Ibragimov. And I instantly took a very strong disliking to him. He's one of those guys that will throw nothing and then complain to his opponent and be like, come on, man, why aren't you throwing anything? So he's got some like Georgian Bobby Green vibes going on. He fell to his back at one point. He's like, come on, man, why aren't you coming to the ground? Why aren't you doing anything? And then eventually he landed what I think is a pretty lucky head kick and got him out of there. So I actually have a bet on this fight on the over 1.5 at -120 because he doesn't do a lot. I don't think Allan has a lot of power. He's not a strong finisher. Like he didn't get Mike Rodriguez out of there, a guy that Ed Herman stopped. So I see this fight going more than 7.5 minutes, and I will pay pretty close to even money to watch nothing happen for 8 minutes in this one. Next up, lightweight division. I think one of these guys, Justin Jaynes, has moved between lightweight and featherweight in his very, very brief UFC career. So he's back at lightweight for this one, and he's taken on the Jungle Boy, Mowgli Benítez. Sean?
Once again, why is this on the fucking main card? Benítez is coming off 2 losses. Jaynes, the only he's coming off that loss to a shitty Canadian that we'll see next week.
Yeah, if you lose to a Canadian, you don't get to be on the main card.
Yeah, I thought that was the rule. What the fuck are we doing here? I really have nothing on this fight. This is another one that I really, really don't care about. I guess Benítez has been with the UFC for quite a long time. I guess you give him the veteran edge. He's still not that good, but the other guy is terrible. So I'll pick Benítez. This is another one. Fuck, I might have an hour-long nap on Saturday just with these shitty main card fights. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, you can recharge for Talia Santos and Montella Rosa.
What are you doing?
Wes, what do you got here?
Yeah, I mean, seriously though, dude, like this is where we're at with the UFC, and you still have these motherfuckers out there that make fun of Bellator. People that watch, like you don't have to watch Bellator, but you at this point being a UFC, like I only watch UFC. I don't watch all those other organizations. And saying shit. And this is the shit though. This isn't a fucking Bellator. This ain't Bellator shit here. Like, come on, man.
Dude, at least when Bellator puts on terrible fights, they're usually mismatches.
Yeah, you get good knockouts and fucking. I'd rather watch fucking top 20 knockout VHS cassette type shit than this shit. We're gonna watch De La Rosa and old girl lay on each other. That's like what 2 down from the main event. Like this shit's it's ridiculous. I got nothing here too. Sean's right. Benítez should win this fight, but are you laying -220 on him coming off 2 losses and shit? No. Jaynes is terrible though, so I'm gonna pick Benítez. I mean, Brad's probably got a prop here for you though.
I might have a prop. I haven't looked super closely at the props at this point, but I did not lay -220 on Benítez. I only laid -170 on him.
That's better.
And I parlayed him with Leavitt. So that's the second Leavitt parlay.
He's better. He's the better guy. I mean,
so yeah, Jaynes either comes out in the first round and smokes this dude, which I don't think he does. We saw him do that once in the UFC, and he hasn't looked great since then. He landed some stuff on Gavin Tucker, but that's a dude that got the absolute soul removed from his body by Rick Glenn. So if you can't finish that dude, then probably not great. So I think that Benítez survives that early storm and just sort of kicks him to death. Maybe gets a stoppage, maybe he doesn't. I don't care as long as he wins this fight. It'll cash a little parlay for me. Next, do we want to talk about this? Like it's Talia Santos and Montana De La Rosa, the third fight on card.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
just say that
it's going to decision.
this is ridiculous. This is third fucking from the. It's just stupid. What are we even doing, man?
Yeah. Like
Nobody
the
knows who they are. Nobody. Nobody fucking
Landwehr
knows.
fight is better. The Smolka fight is better. The Jackson Topuria fight is better. I mean, my number one contender T-shirt in the pool fight is better than this shit. And that's first on the card. Jesus. Sean.
They're both terrible.
Goes to decision. There you go.
I think Santos is less terrible.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, she seems like an athlete, I guess. I don't know.
She's got arm muscles. The other one doesn't.
She has definition on her body.
Yep.
Yeah. Co-main event. Light heavyweight division. We got... So, fun fact for you guys on this one.
Here we go.
The guy who is not Osp, he's actually, if you pronounce his name properly, it's Jay Mahal, because he's named after the first Indian, dots, not feathers, professional wrestling, world wrestling entertainment world champion, Jinder Mahal. Yeah, he's named after Jinder Mahal. That's why his name is Jay Mahal Hill. There you go. Little fun fact for you. Wes, what do you got on this one?
I'm still trying to process the origins of this guy's name.
He's got your brain in a pretzel.
Put it in a blender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll pour say that again. Mahal.
Jay Mahal?
Yeah, Jay Mahal. Jay Mahal.
Yeah, there we go. I think this is just gonna look like a lot of OSP fights here. I think he's gonna try to get him out of there. OSP's gonna bob and weave, maybe take a couple, and he's gonna end up catching him with something. There's just never really too much you have to break down in an OSP fight. I think you think the guy's gonna knock him out. You don't think he's going to get him out of there, then OSP is usually going to survive and either winning the last couple rounds or choking a guy out. So I think that's going to happen here. OSP at plus money. You got to take it against this guy, and that's what I'm going to do.
Sean?
Yeah, Osp is just a weird fighter. He makes weird fights. I don't know if it's his striking style or just how he moves around that cage. I don't know what it is, but like Wes said, if you're not getting him out of there, which it's not easy to get him out of there. Like you need to be a pretty decent fighter, and he's not just getting like one punch slicked either. It's usually he gets clipped and you still gotta finish him on the ground or grab a neck, and he's decent. And this guy is Jamal Hill is kind of unproven. He's only had 7 professional fights. I think Jamal Hill is going to push it early, and if he, like Wes said, if he doesn't get him out of there, this is going to be a typical OSB fight, and OSB is a dangerous guy. He throws with power. We saw in that Menafield fight. I think this is going to be a close fight, and I think OSB can take this if he's able to protect himself early. So I like OSB here at plus 150. I got it for 2 units.
Yeah, I like OSP as well. I feel like we saw. I feel like we saw this a couple months ago.
Last time out, yeah.
Last time it got booked a few times, but Alonzo Menafield is a way more dangerous striker than Jinder Mahal. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't get OSP out of there. This guy, he's a light heavyweight. He's got like decent kicks, but he has no power. Like in his hands, no power at all. He is not going to get off out of there. Maybe he can outpoint him. I don't know. I guess that's a possibility, but he's not going to knock him out. And the fact that he throws so many kicks, there's a good chance that one of those is going to get caught and they're going to end up on the ground. And this dude has shown absolutely nothing in terms of grappling. So this is a very good chance for the old Von Preux choke to happen again.
It could.
Wouldn't be shocked at all to see that. And I remember watching this guy on Contender Series, and in his first UFC fight, he fought that like short Croatian dude. I don't remember.
Stosic, yeah.
He fought both of those dudes. And he loves getting punched by left hooks. Absolutely loves it. And I can't remember, but perhaps somebody can remind me of what punch OSP used to knock out Menafield and just absolutely face plant him. But I think it might have been the same punch.
Beautiful left hook.
So, yeah, there's a chance that what is he now, minus 165, minus 170 favorite could outpoint the wily vet. But there's way too much we haven't seen out of this guy to have him as a decent favorite against a guy like OSP, who's difficult to get out of there, has been in with the best in the division. And, man, I actually absolutely have to take a shot on OSP in this one. So I as well have 3 units on OSP at plus 150.
Get it.
So,
damn.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Now, the main event, the one relevant fight on the card. So, yeah, it's this is like an LFA card back in the day where the bantamweight winner would immediately jump into the UFC top 15. We have Jack Hermansson. Hermansson, yeah. Jack Nicholson. Taking on another fun fact for the listeners. Vettori is Italian for decision. Yeah, decision.
I thought it was meathead. No, sorry. You must have looked up the Bad
wrong
translation.
Google Translate. Bad. Yeah. Let's start with Wes on this one. I want to see what Wes has to say.
Yeah. I'm a kind of conflicted. I almost think this fight could look kind of like the last fight that we just talked about. To where I think Vettori has a better chance though than the last guy early that we talked about. I just kind of think it's the same though. Vettori's gonna have to get Hermansson out of there. I believe pretty quick because the longer this goes, man, Vettori just he's got an okay gas tank, but it's not great. He just throws a lot. He throws big shit. Hermansson has survived some stuff. I don't think Vettori hits like the Crystal God fucking Quinonez or anything. So that's why I give Hermansson more of I like him more in this fight than I did in that fight. I think he can survive, and if he can get this out of the first round or so, maybe into the third. I just think Vettori's going to get tired and also do some dumb shit. Like Vettori's not the smartest fighter in there. We kind of already touched on that. I still haven't bet Hermansson here, man. I keep thinking that Vettori does have a chance to get him, man. Even though I think Quinonez hits a whole lot harder, Vettori does have a little bit of power. Brad's right. Up until his last fight, though, it's like he couldn't finish a fucking half a 6-inch sub in there, I'm leaning Hermansson. Probably gonna bet him at the dog price, but I will reluctantly, and it's gonna be a small bet because I do give Vettori more of a shot than it does worry me too. I see a lot. He's the popular dog. Like everybody is betting Hermansson in this spot, and I think I give Vettori more of a chance than I see a lot of people giving him in this fight. But the picks Hermansson, I'll probably have a small bet on.
That's fair.
Oh, autofocus that shit. 150 on the tots.
Oh, get it? Get it?
Steve's giving out
That's
winners. All the fucking
Yeah.
fans need to be watching for then and at the end of the podcast because Steve's giving out a winner 2
Oh
weeks straight.
shit! I couldn't get in the chat last week, but he's
He's
giving
hot.
out-
He's
give
hot.
out- Yeah.
He's like 3 weeks in a row, I think.
Yep, two or
Yeah.
3
You
weeks. in a row.
always respect a true Englishman's Premier
That's
League tips. I mean,
damn right.
Yeah,
Sean.
I don't have any money on this fight right now. I kind of agree with Wes. There's a lot of people that like Hermansson so far that I've seen. I kind of get it because Hermansson's done better against better competition. So they are surprised that he was a dog. I think Vettori is decent. I think it's kind of backwards, Wes. I think Hermansson gets him early, or it gets to be a closer fight because I don't know how good of gas tank Hermansson has if he doesn't get something early, and if there is a decent amount of strikes thrown. He looked decent in a 5-round fight against.
takes
Go
the
ahead.
chances down a lot. I think you're right. It takes his chances down and catching him and something.
Yeah, and I mean
longer goes.
Hermansson looked good in
Yeah.
pretty decent in a 5-round fight against Jacare, but that was kind of a weird fight. There wasn't too much going on there. I might look prop wise, whether it's Hermansson round 1 for a stupid number or sub or something like that. I'm coming around on him. I was kind of looking at Vettori to begin with, but I don't know. I think I'll just stay away from this fight. I think Vettori is good. I know he hasn't shown that much. This is a good spot for him to show that he is that good, but he's kind of in tough against Hermansson, who's a really good grappler, and that's where Vettori was getting all his finishes before the UFC was grappling. So that's going to be tough for him in this fight. So I'll pick Hermansson, and I'll try to find a bet because I don't have anything on it.
Yeah, this is. I find this to be a tricky one. When the line first came out, I was a little bit trigger happy, and I did make a bet on Hermansson at plus 120.
That plus number, got him.
The plus number always gets me, man. I think that the over 1.5 that I have in that one fight is the only juice I laid on this entire card. Sorry, I do have the couple of the take it or leave it parlays.
There it is.
But that doesn't count. That's fucking fading Matt Wiman. So, but yeah, I've been kind of going back and forth and kind of rethinking it a little bit. And I'm going to leave the play. I'm not going to come back and try and take anything on Vettori. Just because, man, we've seen him, like the narrative is kind of that he's supposed to have good cardio. He's supposed to wear on guys. He's supposed to get them out of there late. And I know it was several years ago at this point, but this is the only guy that has ever made Shoeface look good in the third round of a fight, which is hard to do. And then, he had a couple fights in between there and, went to decisions with a couple dudes. And yeah, he got beat by Omari Akhmedov for 2 rounds and then looked great in the third round against that dude. But Chris Weidman in 2020 just looked great against Omari Akhmedov in the third round. So the fact that he got a 10-8 against him means nothing to me. People seem to be holding on to the fact that he got a split decision against Israel Adesanya that absolutely should not have been a split decision.
I see a lot of people's using that for their Vettori.
He still did all right in that fight.
He
and that's
did all right, but that's also not even remotely the same dude.
That's when Izzy was having those type of fights early with guys too. He wasn't doing a lot, just trying to win, having kind of sparring type kickboxing matches and shit.
You could tell that Izzy at that point, because the fight before, he got taken down by some Australian or British dude.
Yeah.
So you could tell at that point that he wasn't confident in his ability to be able to get up. So he wasn't as aggressive with his strikes and didn't quite evolve into the guy that we know today. So if you want to hold on to that as something that's good for Vettori, sure, go for it. And then his last couple fights, like he's looked good late in fights against Mutanch, terrible cardio. Andrew Sanchez, terrible cardio.
The worst cardio.
And then he subbed Carl Roberson, which, like, if you don't think Jack Hermansson would go in there and sub Carl Roberson in about 30 seconds, I don't know what to tell you. So, he's young, he's improving, he seems pretty big and strong. But I really think once he gets into a dogfight, his cardio is going to be no better than Hermansson. And we just saw Hermansson go 5 rounds to Jacare, and the 4th and 5th rounds were his busiest rounds in that fight. That's where he looked the best in that fight. Plus, he's the bigger threat to finish it early. So I think that Hermansson is able to stay busier. He's definitely the better grappler. Maybe Vettori's a little bit of a better striker, although I'm not really impressed by his striking. But Hermansson, everyone that isn't able to get him out of there by being a massive hitter, he beats. He figures out a way to beat those guys. And Vettori, as I said, Italian for decision. He is not going to get guys out of there unless you cannot grapple at all. So I think that Hermansson is either on the ground or just by staying busy in the later rounds going to find a way to win this fight. So I've got Hermansson. I'm sticking with that plus 120 that I took early on, kind of leaning towards the decision prop, which is like 500 or 525, depending on where you look. Because I think that Vettori is difficult to finish. So leaning in that direction a little bit, but I like Jack Hermansson as the pick in this one. So we will see how it plays out on Saturday night. And seems like it's going to be a late one again.
Are we going to be awake? Are we even going to be awake by that fight?
You take that 3-fight nap on the fucking main card, and then you're good for the co-main and main.
That is so bad. Jesus.
At least things are looking brighter for next week.
How many over under like 12 fucking tweets from Lance? Like, can we move this on? God, why are we getting this fight on the way? Like,
the man's in the ICU. All he's
not going anywhere. They just got to flip it over to ESPN.
He's tired. He's tired. He wants this shit to be over. Lance said next week he's here regardless, and you know why he's going to be here next week.
Why? What's happening next week?
Debra.
Like, he's gonna have like a fucking IV bag and shit. Dude gonna have like a cover around him. Ain't gonna say
here.
Debra.
He's gonna have 17 units on Debra.
First round choke. It's gonna be just ending Tony. First round choke.
Do they have props on that yet?
Not yet.
Oh
they don't
man.
do props until fight week.
What was the line? I haven't even looked up the line.
You can get like plus 150
45,
right now?
150.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? No sub price yet though, huh?
No props until fight week.
All right.
That's gonna be fun.
Yes, sir.
That's honestly, any Tony fight should be 5 rounds.
Yep.
And Dobron, it doesn't matter because the man is just going to come out there and kill you with a choke, or he's going to get subbed. Or not subbed, but he's going to get stopped. So that should just be no rounds.
Yeah, that could be no time.
There's none of
limit.
this. Yeah, no time limit, no 5 minutes, none of this bullshit. Take it back to the old days.
Old school.
Just let them fight until somebody dies.
There we go.
And it's going to be Tony.
Yeah, that's always going to be Tony with a dope rocks in there. He's going to choke you dead eventually.
But, like, that's a real card.
Yep, that's a very solid card.
Took us 16 fucking ESPN plus whatever to get
here. But we're here in a week and a half.
Yeah. I can't wait for Chase Hooper against Slippery Pete Barrett.
That dude's minus 200 again.
Is he?
He's minus 400. Man. Sorry, he's minus 400.
We're gonna have to do it again. Like that was.
We're gonna get an even better price this time.
Oh, I lost last time because I'm an idiot. So. I'll try to make some back this time. I got him at minus 110. We'll talk about that next week.
Man, yeah, that's a fun one. We got the Pitt Pineda on the undercard against Cub Swanson. That's like a WEC dream fight.
Yep.
Dude, we're getting that. We're getting Cub Swanson against Pineda 2020 UFC. How wild is that? That is so crazy.
These are some wild times we live in, but we got to get through one more before we get to next week's UFC 256 that actually has a bunch of very, very entertaining fights. And you know what? As I said earlier, this is low level MMA, so it is probably going to be entertaining for us as well. Wes, Sean, you got anything you want to sign off with before we get out of here?
I got nothing. Lance said he will fucking be back next week, so hold him to it.
Damn right.
It's fucking Chucky Olives.
Yeah, he has to be here.
He'll be back.
I mean, he missed Bear Jew, but I don't think he's missing Chucky Olives.
No. There's only so much that he can take.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's only so much AIDS virus that will keep him away when Del Brox is fighting.
Well, we are signing off for the week, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back for the Figgy, but more